Hey guys, today I'm at the LA Auto Show, and if you are in Southern California, you should head out here if you're interested in the Vinfast lineup, because they have brought all four of the vehicles that they're going to be bringing to the United States here. The first of which is going to be the VF8 and the VF9. Right now we're taking a look at the VF8. This is the two-row all-wheel drive standard mid-size electric crossover from the brand. On the outside, it's about the same size as a Land Rover Range Rover Velar, but it's all electric, and we don't have too much direct competition in the US right now. Now, we do know pricing. It's going to start at $42,200 if you lease your battery. I'll talk about that in a bit. If you want to buy the battery, that is now an option. It's going to be $57,000. Now let's take a look around the car and see why you might want a VF8. The first thing you'll notice is this really expressive design. The VF8 and VF9 were designed by Pininfarina, the famed Italian design company that designs all sorts of luxury vehicles. We have full LED headlights up front, a very distinctive illuminated V shape right here that's going to be the Vinfast brand hallmark. It's going to be a little bit more aggressive in the upcoming smaller Vinfasts though. The front end looks really clean and really interesting as far as my eye goes. Let me know what you think about the design in the comment section. Now, in case you're wondering, there is going to be a front trunk in the VF8, and there are two different two-motor options, 348 horsepower or 402 horsepower, but every VF8 and every VF9 are going to be all-wheel drive standard in the United States. Coming in for a closer look, you'll notice that the front trunk area is a little bit unusually sized, but definitely practical enough for things like maybe some charge cords, some adapters, things like that, knickknacks on the side. That's because the hood is definitely relatively short on the VF8. Again, at 187 inches long, this is about as long as the Range Rover Velar. It is a two-row vehicle, and it's the close relative of the VF9. If you're interested in a bit more room, the VF9 is going to have a third row behind, and this doesn't have that very interesting styling cue that we find in the VF9 with that pinched sort of V shape right back here. It has a bit more of a traditional crossover look. Obviously, we have full LED taillights back here, as you'd expect in a luxury vehicle. Some folks have been asking about this. I would say Vinfast is really targeting the luxury segment, especially with their pricing, because this is going to start essentially just under $60,000 with the battery. Again, that very distinctive V shape right there with those LED lights, the distinctive Vinfast logo there. Unfortunately, this VF8 apparently is off and nobody has the key, so let's just take a look from the inside. You can see that the cargo area is pretty large. This is a dedicated battery EV platform, so the battery is a skateboard unit underneath the vehicle. Under there, we do have some additional storage space, which surprised me a bit, and it looks like you might even be able to fit a compact spare tire in this vehicle. Now, that shouldn't really be too surprising because Vinfast is based in Vietnam, even though these vehicles will be built in the United States starting around 2024, and a lot of markets in Asia really love the spare tire still, so I'm really hoping that feature makes it to North America. Let's take a look at the rear passenger room here. If I move those seats back up, wow, that is a pretty heavy seat. We do have a bit of a driveline hump here, which is surprising. That's likely for cabling and other components for battery cooling and battery interaction there. The rear seat bench is really wide, and so if you're looking for something that's comfortable, so on the inside a bit more maybe BMW X5 sized, even on the outside it's a little shorter, this might be a good option. We have cup holders right there in the rear armrest. And if I move over to the middle seat, definitely plenty of headroom in here. My hair is just barely brushing the seat, or the ceiling there rather. And if I move over here, I have plenty of headroom left. One kind of surprising twist is that we have a 90-watt USB-C power outlet in the center console, so you'd actually be able to run a decent number of laptops back here right off the built-in USB-C port. A design hallmark of all Vinfast vehicles in North America is going to be this big central tablet display, very much like what we see in modern Teslas. Now, I won't be able to show you it on this one, but I will be able to show you one in one of the other vehicles that's on. Interesting twist, though, that we don't find in modern Teslas is they all seem to have a heads-up display. I don't know whether that's going to be standard or an optional feature just yet, but I think that the central display is okay by me if we have that heads-up display in a vehicle like this. It really gives it a clean look. The steering wheel is somewhat BMW-esque, although the parts in here all appear to be really unique to the Vinfast. For instance, moving down the dashboard, we find two big air vents there, push button shifters in a pattern that reminds me a little bit of some supercars out there, volume knob over there. Moving over to the steering wheel, this does remind me a lot of BMW's turn signal stalks, so it might be the same supplier, but the buttons on the steering wheel, those are definitely unique to this vehicle, and they all have a reasonably premium feel, just as you'd expect in a vehicle with a higher price tag. Also, so do the window switches on the door. And I have to say, the build quality in here looks to be pretty good, and the parts quality also appears to be excellent. The dashboard is made from soft touch injection molded components with some after stitching there, and although we do find hard plastics, they're farther away from the driver. Lots of soft touch materials going on the front doors. Powering the VF8 will be your choice of two different battery packs. There's going to be an 82 kilowatt hour battery pack standard, that's going to be the base price one. Then there's an 87.7 kilowatt hour battery pack. We don't have official EPA numbers just yet, but on the WLTP cycle, which is pretty optimistic, this should range from 248 miles to 292 miles. Obviously, the Eco model is going to be the one that will give you the longest range, and that's going to be the least expensive version of this. So you don't have to pay extra for the Eco trim. Instead, you're going to pay extra for the Plus trim, which will include features like the power liftgate, real leather on the inside, features like that, and of course, bigger wheels. This one does appear to be the upper end trim, so this is going to be the one with the slightly lower range. By the time this gets converted to North American range, the EPA cycle, I suspect the base version is going to drop down to probably around 200 miles. We should know more details on that soon. Now, I promised to talk about the battery leasing because that really is an interesting twist with the Vinfast lineup. Lots of manufacturers have proposed battery leasing. Vinfast appears to be the first one in North America to really give it a go. For about $160 to $200 and some odd, depending on the model you're looking at, Vinfast will lease you the battery with unlimited mileage. That's what it appears to be right now. And they have a 10-year unlimited mile battery warranty if you'd rather buy the battery. But if you choose the leasing option, you don't have to worry about battery capacity long term. If the battery drops below 70% usable capacity, then they will replace the battery pack as long as you're still on that leasing program. If you'd rather buy the battery, they have a pretty aggressive battery warranty, interestingly enough. The batteries right now are being made by Samsung, so they're not made in Vietnam at the moment. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future, but the batteries will carry a 10-year unlimited mileage warranty. So if you're in ride sharing or some other industry like that, this could be a really intriguing option. The same rule applies with that unlimited battery warranty, where they will replace it if capacity drops below a particular amount. Charging happens right up here behind this door, and this particular model is a North American spec vehicle, in case you're wondering, because behind this door we actually find the J1772 charging connector, not the European charge connector like we've seen in some of the other ones it shows. So this is apparently the final production spec VF8. Let me know what you think about the VF8 down there in the comment section, and are you as intrigued as I am about Vinfast coming to the North American market? Also, if you haven't done so already, check out the VF9 video and our quick take on the VF6 and the VF7. See all of you later.